Hey, people.
Hello. Watch me remember to switch off the start screen this time. I did forget to adjust this before. Oh, damn it! To adjust this before we began, though.
So, it's time to end fishing once again. That's a horrible pun, I know, and you can and will kill me for that. This time around, we have managed to upload a data pack, so we can put this into an actual module and think about what to do with the loot. And that could be really fun, because we can implement whatever we want, and thanks to loot tables, we can do it quite efficiently, I guess.
Yeah, we can. What's all these signs? These weren't here last time.
Did Special Gear insane again?
I think it says reset the invisible ink in wood coloured. Sorry, I just jumped. Do you hear myself jump ahead in that joke there? I think they say reset the bloody stat in invisible ink, but instead I think they say reset the invisible ink. Yep. In the stat.
Yeah, welcome to this week's stream, I guess. Let's get started straight away. Let's not ramble on.
I'll turn the whitelist off.
Main.
Okay.
That's a good thing to do.
Yes, so we're in main, and we have some commands here. So in main, we're going to be looking for fishing rods, I guess. Execute if entity at e type equals, what are they called? Fishing bobber.
They're called fishing_bobber. Yep. We already have all the commands over here, Spox, if you want to. If you want to steal your old work.
Definitely. Execute if entity at e run.
Oh,
I guess we might as well run it on the bobber, right?
We need it on 20 hertz though.
Oh, we do. We need to set a score if it exists.
So
right?
we need to, we need to check if one exists and then set a score. Can you open init real quick so I can create a scoreboard for us?
There you go.
Thank you. Where should we start? What should we call this? Oh, scoreboard name.
EF data, like ML data? Because we can also use that to run the velocity.
EF data.
Okay.
I'm creating it in-game as well. Where's your light rock dropper?
Okay, and then under init check. Wait, where's pulse check? Is that?
I might. Sorry, I might have deleted it accidentally.
Did you delete pulse check? Okay.
Maybe I will upload a new one.
It's okay. I'll do it on my end because I have to open it anyway.
There you go, Crop. There's your lighter.
Not much in there. Pulse check. That's the old one. I'll create a new one. Pulse check.mc.
Oh, I deleted pulse check. Oh well. Did I create discover objective? I did.
Oh, apparently I scared Eldani because they had maximum volume.
You scared who?
How do you know who the bobber belongs to so you can loot the correct person? That's a good point. I will have to look at some of the fishing stats.
That's a really good point.
I haven't really thought about that yet. Enemy support class becomes...
There is no advancement trigger for casting the fishing rod, unfortunately. But there is one for hooking onto stuff. There is one for hooking onto stuff, and we're technically hooking onto an armor stand? Does that work? Does it count?
Good question. I feel like it will. It is a living entity for some weird reason.
Armor stands are so weird.
They are. They're like...
How does it...
They're like alive, and it's slightly scary. It's like they they're alive and they're sentient, but they have like no movement and they're just silently screaming at their own existence, you know? That's what I think of when I put my hat on them.
There's a fishing rod hook trigger. Triggers after the player successfully catches an item with a fishing rod or pulls an entity with a fishing rod. Available conditions. Conditions, entity that was pulled. And that allows for distance, Y, effects, location, and an MBT string as well as an entity ID. So yes, we can use that to award the correct player. The thing is, if there are two players fishing close to each other, it would be an issue. However, functions run in series, and since we're using a random generator to generate the loot, and you can't see what you fish before you reel in, it doesn't matter which bobber actually targets which player.
Is there a stat for when the bobber is retracted, like durability loss on the rod or something, so we know when they're no longer in fishing mode?
This advancement trigger only goes up once you have pulled an entity with a fishing rod.
Okay.
Because it says
that makes sense.
After the player successfully pulls an entity with a fishing rod.
So if we create like fake ender fish, which are like particles that head for your bobber, and we and they miss the fish. If they miss the fish, we can just delete the armor stand, and the bobber will fall, and it'll auto reel back in because it'll get too far from the player.
Yep, and if they reel in, then it triggers this advancement. This will trigger nearby players' randomizer. Oh, but now we have the issue of when two players fish, one reels in, the other one doesn't. Oh no, only one has the stat. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's completely fine.
Okay. What are we calling the function that's running if there's a bobber in the world? Bobber main?
Bob, are you still alive?
Or
I don't
we
know.
can call it fast.mc function.
What does it actually do? It just
I guess
creates
everything. Because we'll be like using it to.
Everything?
I guess not. I suppose.
The particles would need to be on 20 Hz to look good.
That's true. Can we call it Go Fish, please?
Call it whatever you want. Go Fish, please. Yes.
Okay. So I'll create a new function. Go Fish. I think I like this more than update. No, I'm kidding.
You can't betray update, Sparks.
I know, I can't. Okay,
and then like mannequins.
And then in here we copy the code we had from last time, which is over here, I guess. One of these many things.
I don't know which one was the one that worked.
Execute as type fishing bobber scores debug. We'll have to change that to
data.
EF data.
Whilst we're copying this stuff, how does everyone feel about the villager changes in the latest snapshot? That's quite controversial stuff.
Yeah.
Remember it's GM4_EF data.
I'm changing the armor stands tag from test to GM4 bobber hook.
Yep, that sounds like a good thing to do. We can leave him visible for now.
We should execute as the bobber from pulse check.
Yeah, that would be a smart thing. We only want to run this in the end, though.
That's
true. So
true.
we need to do execute.
Isn't there a dimension tag?
Yeah, there is. I think it's execute in.
Oh, yep. Even better. Because I knew there was a dimension MBT
over.
tag, but yeah.
Alright, so let's go over to main.
But how do you... Oh, yeah.
Does this?
Okay, so it'll only...
Why don't we... If we could already tag... This is stupid. We need to tag these bobbers here, Sparks.
Why?
Because if we don't tag them, then we try to tag them on 20 hertz. And search through all the bobbers. And if we just tag them here, then we could just run off the tagged ones in pulse check.
Yeah, okay.
So just do, instead of scope player set, we do tag add as add something.
Traveling bobber?
Or actually, do we want to tag? We could just set their initiate their EF data score. We have to count up anyways.
We probably... Yeah, we probably want to differentiate between bobbers that are waiting to be hooked, bobbers that are waiting for a fish, and bobbers that are like done, like they missed the fish.
How about this? We set the EF data to -1. And then if they are -1, we set them to 0 if they are hooked, and then we only do the count up thing for bobbers that have a score of at least 0.
We're not count. EF data is going to be their velocity pulled straight in, though. We're not counting up. We're...
Alright, so should we do tags then?
Yeah. I'd call it traveling bobber or thrown bobber.
Tags are kind of inefficient here, because then we have to remove the old tag and add the new tag. Or we could just leave the tag on and don't.
Well, I see what you mean. Or another scoreboard.
EF state. What does chat say? Chat probably has a pretty harsh opinion on this.
I never got to a point where I used them so.
That's about the villager changes.
Oh yeah, okay.
In the new snapshot, villagers only reset twice a day. And I have to say, I kind of dislike that because it decreases the volume of items you can trade by a lot.
Yeah.
Alright, are we going for another scoreboard then?
Yes.
I'm calling it EF_state. EF state -1 for not hooked. In pulse check, we only do and we want to do this in Minecraft the end.
No, we don't need that. Okay, so we set the state to -1, and then pulse check is if there's any bobber with a state of -1 or more.
In the end. Or higher, yeah. Because we want to do the fishing stuff when the bobber is hooked and when it's counting up, right?
Yes. But not once it's just falling. So I'd say we stop it. When I say falling, I mean when the fish is bitten and you haven't reeled it in.
But what's the state for bitten but you haven't reeled it in?
If the fish arrives and we destroy the armor stand so it just falls, right? We don't want it to rehook a new armor stand, so we should change its state at that point.
Yeah, sure, alright.
So -1 is being thrown out.
Yep.
Zero is hooked. 1 is
waiting for fish.
Isn't that the same thing as hooked? Hi, Tiny Atoms.
Oh yeah, that's the same thing as hooked.
Yeah, so
-1 is thrown out. 0 is hooked and waiting.
Yep. We'll say 1 has fish, which will give it for a very short time. And then 2 is when it's just failed.
2 doesn't exist because if it would hit 2, it just resets to 0.
No.
Like, if you don't reel in, it resets to 0. That's how fishing works.
Really? I thought we would just have it. If you miss the fish and you don't reel in, then the bobber just drops into the void and unreal.
That's not how vanilla fishing works.
Okay, all right. We'll just let it continue then. In which case, in which case there isn't a max for that. We'll just leave it like that.
Yeah, we could actually count the attempt. We could actually... Oh, we could do a cool thing here, Sparks.
Yeah.
This might be useless, but it might be cool for implementing certain types of loot.
Yeah.
So how about this? When you throw out, thrown out but not hooked is -1. 0, it's hooked and waiting for a fish. But once it gets a fish, and you let it go and you don't catch it, it gets set to 1. And 1 is also waiting for a fish, and 2 is also waiting for a fish. So the number indicates how much you've waited.
Yeah, I like that.
And then you could do special loot that only gets to your thing after you've let like a couple of fish pass.
Yes, my first thought is that I think it's either Chinese or Japanese culture, I can't remember. 3 is a really lucky number and fish are quite lucky as well. Like 3 fish is really lucky. I think. I need to fact check this, but I feel like there's something lucky about 3 fish.
So that could be cool. Another thing we discussed pre-stream here is antfish. This pun doesn't get old. Antfish. There's no fish in the end, and we can't retexture a fish. So I suggested earlier we could texture a player skull like a puffed up ant pufferfish, and give it a sort of gas bag style effect as known from Gamemode 4D. I think that we'll have to work out, as Sparks mentioned this, on Gamemode 4D we had an issue with gas bags where they took massive amounts of fall damage if you unselect them at the wrong time. But I think we can fix that with jump boost, or probably even slow falling now. I'm not sure about that though, but maybe people know. So that could be a cool thing. So you couldn't consume the fish, you couldn't eat it or cook it. It's just a puffed up ant pufferfish that makes you float. Especially useful in early end game when you don't have an elytra and you go exploring. It would of course be limited in its usability in some way, but it would be cool for early exploring, looking for your first elytra.
I've just thought of something. Oh, but we can fix it.
Bloop Psycho Ranger says slow falling would negate the falling damage. Hey Tiny Adams, hi. Brianna Kitty Bear music. Demon Pixel has an opinion on the tags. If you want to replace one tag with one other, you could just data modify the tag list to contain the new one and not contain the old one. Yes, it would delete other tags though. We'll have to look into that. Now we're going with just Gore solution.
Does the tag have to be in the speech marks? I guess it does.
Where are you? Nope, it doesn't.
It was miscoloring the rest of the thing, which is what made me think it should, but maybe that's just a...
That's probably just a thing with Mizode's
Yeah, okay.
thing here.
Are we now executing as the bobber when we run this function? We are.
Yep, this is called as the bobber at the bobber in the end.
In which case we don't need the type equals fishing bobber here.
In which case we might as well just move the state check some. No, we don't, because this is kind of like a fast main function, right?
Yeah, this is running very quickly.
And we want to branch off into different things here, right? Depending on the state score.
Yeah, because we, as well as summoning the armor stand, we also need to change its score.
So we need this selector here.
Yes. Then the particle will run at the... We'll run at it if... Wait, do we need this particle? Right. This is just a trail we were using for testing, right?
Yep. If I remember right, if score is faster than this MBT score check thingy. It's not MBT.
Okay, so we're not using that, and then this one is for killing the armor stand if the bobber is gone. Kill.
I'm gonna check for the state of the bobber first before we check for the velocity. Probably better.
Mm-hmm.
Should this be a base module where you can add your own loot stuff in an expandable module expansion and stuff like that? I guess it would be neater to do it that way, and we'll just bundle a couple of them as their own namespaces with the base module.
Do you think it's that versatile?
I mean, you could basically make this catch anything.
Does that mean people should be able to catch anything, or like, I don't know.
Let's not make it a base module.
Cyber Cauldron has more calls to be a base module than this, I think.
That's right. Cyber Cauldron. We don't talk about that.
That has like crafting and stuff in it.
Alright, let's not make it one.
Yeah, okay, so we haven't even tried running this function at all yet. We don't even know if it installs. Shall I reload to see if it installs?
Go for it. Blame me if it doesn't work.
It didn't say it installed.
Oh, I'm watching the wrong console. It's the wrong server.
Oh. Oh.
What are you looking at?
It's so cute. Taking a screenshot. Get out my face. Get out my screenshot face. Okay.
I wanted to kill it, but I can't. Oh, it's just floating there. Okay, it didn't install.
He looks like a yogi, you know, there's people that like meditate and then levitate.
End fishing seems to be enabled. What went wrong here?
Well, oh, I was going to say stuff is running when I, but we should probably turn off the commands that were running before.
Oh, I know what went wrong, I think. Yep, I know what went wrong. I'm on it. Alright, I think. Let me save here. I think we should be golden now if we reload here. There we go.
Reload again? I just saved something else.
Reloading again. If we check the logs. No errors.
Bird fishing isn't working.
Does it have its...
I think it might not be running...
This is always the same, like we should automate this process.
Let's just see if this says hi slowly when I throw it. Okay, so our entity selector for the fishing bobber at the start here doesn't work.
Does the function even run?
Main is not running.
Okay, blame everything on me, I guess. Main is not running, you say.
It might be my fault for not updating pulse check properly. Let me check what I typed in here.
And fishing pulse check. Init check RAM. Let me read angry comments in chat. No angry comments in chat. Loop Cycle Ranger says it would only start when it falls down instead of going upwards, stopping players from fishing in midair and on the ground.
Blue Cycle Ranger, does the bobber have a full distance tag? Because I don't remember seeing one when I was inspecting them last time. Also, Brianna Kitty Bear Music, hi. Sorry, Brianna Kitty Bear Music!
Thanks for paying attention for the caps, yeah.
I feel like it's very important. Blue Cycle Ranger says he just checked the data. So if we wanted to just say how far down it's fallen, we could do it that way.
You said main isn't running Sparks? Not at all?
Not at all.
Did you put a plain say command in there?
Yeah. I've deleted it now, but I did.
Something's off here.
There's no errors in the console.
I don't think so. Well, I double checked. Nope, no errors.
Pulse check is
There
running.
it goes.
No, that's
Wait,
pulse check. Pulse check is running, so this line is probably wrong. And it's end fishing main.
If score. For current. Ah, that's the old clocking standard you got there.
What do you mean I've got there?
Where did you get it from?
Oh, I got this from Enderman Support class. I guess that one's outdated on here. We should really tidy those up.
This goddamn clocking standard is like our curse.
I know. It caused so much problem, so much trouble. So many problems, so much trouble. Not so many trouble.
It still doesn't work.
Blue Cycle Ranger says that the full distance thing, if a player shoots it up, it could actually cause a player to fish in midair after it falls for a while, but it would still stop players from fishing on the ground. I'm pretty sure ours does that because we checked that there is air below the bobber anyway. So I think it would behave exactly the same, really.
Trying to reload now. Reload.
Much problem, many trouble.
There it goes. Now it runs.
Okay.
Should have never started this stupid locking update. The time we've wasted on updating our blocks. The advancement still isn't there.
I've just realised another thing we forgot to change, which is in Go Fish, we need to change debug to EF data. Well, it's a start. Where's that high coming from?
That's a good question.
Oh, I see it. It's in main.
Where's my... Why isn't my advancement working?
However, it doesn't seem to be EF data. It doesn't seem to be showing. It doesn't seem to be setting this data into the scoreboard.
Store result score, add as EF data. Is this even successing? Like, I don't think it has that. Does have the EF state -1 score, right? So if I cast the fishing rod,
it's not getting the state score set.
nope. Oh, I know what it is. As entity. Not as entity, as. There we go. Please work. It works. It works and it hooks.
Okay. I feel like... And the arm stand is also killed afterwards. But on a slow clock.
It's a long way sometimes, but I'm fine with that, to be honest.
It can... If I throw it straight down like this, it does...
We need to make sure that the particle we choose is clearly visible against the void and is forced.
Yeah. Why is this reacting so much slower than when we were doing it on 20 Hz before? Or maybe like I'm just
because now it takes like 0.8 seconds to initialize the tick.
That's right. Yeah, the bob has only been checked for
And
slower.
I don't want to change that, but we could change the velocity if we wanted to, and do it earlier than terminal velocity.
I think people are going to be wanting to throw it as far out from the island as possible so they can see their. I am aware that what we just did means that people could generate like a lot of armor stands.
Oh, that's an issue, yeah.
But I don't really see if that is an issue. Like it's just it's like people abusing mob farms and like lagging a server by having lots of mobs.
If you relay yours now, it will delete both armor stands, right?
No, it won't. Well, yeah, it'll delete both of those, but it won't delete yours. Sorry, I misunderstood what you were asking. Did you hook?
This is interesting.
I think you hooked straight onto mine, but it'll still count for you. Like there'll be technically two separate processes, I think.
Oh yeah,
because we're not working off.
Because the advancement trigger. I hope. By the way, I will get working on that advancement thing.
But does that mean that if I was to throw my bobber onto you or another entity?
Shouldn't, because if you relay and it triggers and you're trying to reel in the entity, it doesn't care if it actually reels in the entity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is I could throw it at you and it'll hook onto you before it summons the armor stand. But I guess it'll only set its state. Really. It'll only set its state to fishing mode if it summons the armor stand. So
we should change that. We should make it so that it sets its state to the fishing mode if it doesn't move anymore. Because it shouldn't matter whether you hooked onto my armor stand or your armor stand.
No, but I don't think it's a problem the way it currently works.
Yeah, as long as it gets a fishing state, if you're on my armor stand, then it doesn't.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, it wouldn't get it.
Wait, let me cast one in closer here.
How's that working for you?
Can you try to hook onto mine? Nope, that's yours.
Pardon me.
You did get the fishing state.
That's interesting.
I mean, I don't know why it
No,
works.
no, that's not.
Zero is
that's not state. That's data.
Oh, damn it.
This is state. Which we apparently currently don't update, so we should do that.
Okay, whilst you're doing that, I will get the advancement working, because that's another thing to do, and I'm bad with it and will take some time. I've got too many Gamemode 4 server things. What's chat all about right now? If the player shoots up, Nebularium says, what is your reasoning for using MC function command blocks rather than bucket spigot mods? Nebularium? Am I saying that right? I hope I am. So, it's not... Actually, how should I put this? It isn't a question here to use bucket or spigot mods. It's this entire thing started out as, hey, let's see what back then Sparks can do with command blocks, as a sort of plugin thing that doesn't require external software, just using Minecraft itself, making it really easy for users to install stuff, because you weren't... Back then we had one clicks and you didn't need to mess with files, basically.
Yeah.
So that was pretty easy and simple for the users. They didn't have to download anything, you just copied some text and would be really safe, especially for not as tech-savvy users. Nowadays I'm aware that data packs require some computer knowledge and file moving, which is something we didn't like. That's why we stuck to command block till 1.13.
Yep.
So we aren't using mods or spigot plugins because it's just not what the series is about. This is about trying to see how far we can push commands. And it's kind of the fun in it. Like, I can imagine plugins being a lot of fun as well, but it's kind of fun to play with this really limited set of resources and code we can do.
That's interesting. It's getting a score of 0 for a tick, and then it's switching back to -1. Oh, that's because we're executing on all fishing bobbers in the end to have a state of -1, regardless of what their state currently is.
You could just change that.
Do we have to... I guess we... What does a state of nothing count as in a test, is what I mean.
Unless score matches.
Matches 0 ... I guess.
Well, technically
-1 ...
we technically would have to cover the entire int range to be secure here, but -1 ... shall do.
Yes. It's got a state of 0. Okay. We can fish. I think we're going to have to do a bit of debugging at some point, but this will do for now.
Probably. This is a fun module to play around with, though. So.
Oh, yeah. So once we have our bobber hooked onto an entity, we need to tell it to start looking for... we need to tell fish to start spawning around it, right?
Yep.
So we're thinking about having like a... I guess we need some kind of randomized delay and then a particle that moves towards the bobber at 20 Hertz. Hey Blue, you okay?
I'm okay, yeah.
I was worried my stream had dropped.
No, I'm here.
No
I'm
movement, no noise.
I'm trying to read up on how to do advancements.
Right.
Special isn't here today, so...
Oh yeah, he's the advancement guy. He's the bloody stat guy.
He's way too advanced for me. Sorry.
Allah chaha seat. Do you smell like feet?
Wait, where's that written?
Everywhere? All of these signs?
Oh no, these
I mean, I'm going to be honest, parts of me smell like feet. Like 2 parts of me smell like feet. Which I think is an appropriate amount of foot smell. You know?
Yeah, I know people, they got born with like 10 parts that smell like feet. It's way overkill. They should have turned down that switch a bit.
I know. I mean, when that much of you smells like feet, that's no small feat. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, so randomizer on the time it takes for the fish to arrive. We also have to choose a random direction from which the fish should come, which is fun. We can use the UUID to generate a number within a range, right? So the UUID of the armor stand.
About-ish. It's not really clear which range it gives you, but we can just do it empirically and figure out some number range using it. Can someone shout at me the code for a hidden advancement, please? One that stays hidden, that's just a technical one.
Impossible, isn't it? Oh right, in terms of hiding it. No,
that's a trigger. I want to keep it hidden all the time. What used an advancement? I think it's how the cauldrons did. I can just steal the code from there.
I can't look at these dragon heads without just in my head I just hear wow 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 wow. I don't know what noise other people think they're making, but for me that is the noise.
Sound effect for that.
Blah 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 blah. That is what I hear whenever I look at them, and it's slightly disturbing. Kind of like the giant bird from Up. The snipe. Kevin. I think they called it Kevin.
Yeah. Up has been a long time ago. How old is that movie by now?
I don't know. It's one of the saddest Pixar films I think has ever been created. Anyway.
Advancements.
I feel a little bit out of my depth now because it's usually Special that does the... He has like a special number for generating within a range from UUID. Which module uses that randomizer? I can go steal it off there.
Oh, a bunch of them do. You could probably look into Phantom Scarecrows. It's a pretty small module. It uses it for the color randomization.
Okay. I'm impressed, Blue. Your Phantom Scarecrows module doesn't have any subfolders for functions. You really restrained, even though there's creation checks and create. So you really restrained yourself. Or you got lazy.
Actually, I tried to put in as many subfolders as possible. Hinge, look at Tower Cauldrons. Alright, let's steal this from Tower Cauldrons.
Explode. Maybe the color choice is in Explode? It is. Ah, here we go. This looks good. I can work with that, I think. So when we summon the armor stand...
Oh no, I've got to rename a file. That's gonna wreak havoc.
It always does.
I wish the stupid FTP thing... Like, I value the guys that did this. Came up with this code and made it work. But it's a bit rough around the edges.
Honestly, I'm surprised how rough it is.
Yes.
Yeah. But it does the job, you know. It's live-withable. It's really nice to be able to edit code together. That was always one of the nice things. That was always one of the things that was better about command blocks than functions, was that you couldn't edit live, but you could at least like look at different lines within the same space.
At least by now we've grown used to the issues and we've kind of got a feel for what might be wrong when things go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Additions, entity, so here goes an empty string. Type an entity ID. All right. Minecraft armor underscore stand, right? Go. Rewards function. What did we call this thing again? End fishing? End fishing. Oh, can we create subfolders, Brox, before this gets out of hand?
Before this gets out of hand, You make it sound dangerous. We can.
It is dangerous.
We can do, yeah.
What should we subfolder this into? We probably will need one for the technical aspects of casting and controlling the fishing rod, and then we'll need one for all rewarding stuff.
Yes. Scoreboard players set mod fish range. Fish range GM4 EF data. I'm gonna say 15 for now.
Yep, I will move a couple of things around using FileZilla here in a second.
And then I'm going to put that into init because that needs to be here, I guess. Okay, so if I reload now,
Oh, Sparks, here's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
We can just make it so that we can basically make height-dependent fishing loot. So in this advancement, I can specify for the armor stand that the fishing to a max X, Y, and Z, and a min Y. So we could have 3 advancements to cover 3 height ranges.
And the deeper fishing gives you better loot, maybe. I don't know if that's worth it.
Or we could make it so that going farther out from the center gives you better loot. Farther away from the main island.
If I'm really lucky, this is just gonna have a number between -335 is not 0 to 15. That's not good. And the armor stand hasn't been deleted. Do we have an error? I think we have an error.
Let me check for you. We have an error. Couldn't load function at end fishing function /init.mc function.
Yeah. Oh, there's a /.
Unknown invalid command scoreboard player set on line 11.
Is there another error? I feel like there is.
Unknown invalid command scoreboard. You're fine now. No, you're not fine. Passing load custom function. Oh, that's me.
Were you in the middle of typing when I reloaded?
I'm doing some chasing stuff. Don't worry about it.
You're doing some what stuff?
Chasing stuff. I'm doing the advancement.
Oh, okay, right.
Passing error on custom advancement GM4 end fishing.
I'll have to wait for you to finish that to test then.
It shouldn't. I think you will be fine.
But it's not working. This armor stand isn't being deleted.
Alright, so then I might have to fix my thing first.
Is its tag being
Jason.
lost?
Can I... Line 12, column 4, path. Line 12, column 4.
Yeah, it's my fault, not yours. That was the problem. Gotcha.
If you reload now... Yes, The end fishing advancement is there, the default one. We still have to come up with something for that. Now for the hooking thing.
I fixed it. It was my fault.
Alright, be prepared for reloading your FTP connections, because I will create subfolders using FileZilla here.
It has a number 8. Wait. Where did modulo come from? I think I forgot to edit something.
Something from the old code, yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is. Fish. Range.
Go fish is associated with casting, or is it also... No, it's just casting, right?
Sorry?
Don't reload now. If you reload now, you...
Okay, I won't reload now.
Alright, I'm moving go fish into the subfolder called cast. I'm moving hook bobber into the subfolder called cast.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And relin will have a function called get loot. Get loot, obtain loot, roll loot probably. Alright, you will have to reopen, well, you know, refresh your FTP thingy.
Okay.
So I will close all your things, and then I will wait for you to open things again.
Oh, like full refresh.
Yep. Is Stream Chat saying anything? With mods, you need a mod loader and the mod, sometimes a core mod, data packs you just install, whatever. You don't need to close Minecraft and reopen to flip. Yes, that's a very good point. Eclipse on that's basically why we're doing this. And it's just fun to have patience. In-game chat?
You can reconnect, by the way.
Do you have any files open?
No. But you're also not listed. Oh, I see, right.
Let me reconnect the portal. There we go, now I can see pulse check. Go fish, hook bobber. Thank you very much. Do you see in real there should be a function called something.
Roll loot.
Yep.
Yeah, it's open.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Right, so we have a random number generated between 0 and 15, or actually 0 and 14, I guess. And we can use that if we count that down in main. Count down fish timers. Scoreboard players remove at e types
hook. Passing error customer 1 reading. Invalid MVT take inspection position 0.
Execute if at e
Yes! Oh, it works. That's so beautiful.
What's it happening? What's happening?
It works. It does the advancement stuff. But now I just need to get rid of the advancement again. Shouldn't be hard. So what we are doing here is, in Minecraft 1.13, the advancement system is actually really, and you can use advancement triggers. Like back in the days, we had scoreboard triggers where you got a score in the scoreboard by doing something. Now you can do that using advancements. And we can make it so that once you reel in your fishing rod hooked to an armor stand with custom MBT, it executes some function. But by doing this, you will always have to make sure that you remove that advancement again. So you have to do advancements, revoke, add as only, and then whatever you want to do, and fishing. There you go.
Do you want summon fish to be in a subfolder?
Probably in cast.
Okay.
Oh, this is so beautiful. Now I just have to add the MBT. Alright, so now I can go like... parentheses MBT colon. And I can do an MBT tag in here.
Can I reload right now?
You can reload right now.
Okay. It's going to get a number, and then that number's going to start counting down. Nope, it's just going to fail. Can you tell me what the error is, please?
Yep, sure. The error is couldn't load function and fishing functions main MC function. Illegal argument exception. Whilst passing command on line 7, incorrect argument at command position 18 as entity. You have to remove the entity. Or turn to an if entity. Line 7, position 18.
Yeah.
Either if entity or as. What's the tag for the armor stand again that you summon?
GM4_bobber_hook.
Bobber hook, there we go.
Still a problem.
Oh, hey Dennis. Have you seen a mini mannequin of you? I bet you probably made it right.
I still have an issue, blue error of
Alright,
some kind.
no errors in the console. Reloading again? Nope. Console looks fine.
Hmm?
Where are you at the moment? Are you looking at main?
Yeah.
Execute as every armor stand, but you need to do this in the end probably, right?
I don't think we can have a bobber hook entity outside of the end.
Yeah, but let's be sure and put this in Minecraft the end. Let's actually put this into the place where main is called in pulse check. Because this should only ever do something in the end. There we go. Now main is always running in the end, never anywhere else.
That's the first time we've had an @s in main that I'm aware of.
Well, I would go for like world.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, so what are you doing? Execute as every fishing bobber. Get yourself a state if you don't have one. The killing part worked, you said?
It was. I just added this line at the bottom and now it stopped working, or something's changed. I don't understand why there's no errors. Because this stuff up here has been around for a while, and it was working.
Getting rid of your Minecraft colons there because they are not needed. Gobble plates remove. So you remove from every armor stand that is a bobber hook that has EF data of 0 or more. Do you store the cast out data on the bobber on the armor stand?
I store the fish countdown on the EF data of the armor stand.
Is that a good idea though? Because
Yes, it's
I can
a
hook
data.
to your, but I can hook to your armor stand. We should probably store on the bobber itself.
If you hook to my armor stand, your bobber doesn't. It still has a state of -1 and it won't change.
But it's weird.
If you hook onto my thing, your bobber will never do
It shouldn't
anything.
be possible because then I'm hooked to your thing. It looks like I'm fishing as well, but
Well, I think it makes sense that if a fish approaches, only one hook can grab it.
yeah, but I can't grab it, right? If I'm hooked to yours, or can I? Well, this storing on the armor stand wouldn't be an issue. That would make it when a fish approaches, only one can grab it, which is cool, yeah. But my bobber still has a score of -1 in that case.
Yeah, we can store it on the bobber, I guess. Regardless, it's currently not working. Like it's not summoning any hook bobber armor stands.
Let's just reload again, and I will see if we've got no errors in the console.
I don't understand why typing something over here has broken something that was working.
Are we decent?
No. Good idea. What?
Oh, you know what it is.
What?
We've implemented subfolders.
Did you not change the addresses?
No, I didn't. I thought you.
Oh.
I thought you were gonna do that.
No, I was doing something else. You were doing that, so I
Alright.
thought...
Okay. I'm gonna do it.
Okay. That explains a lot.
Goldfish is now in cast. Have a pulse check.
And hook bobber is also in cast.
Where do you call that?
Under go fish. Far right.
That was off. Didn't see that.
Yeah. Hi, Mr. Cram YT.
Here we go. Oh, hey, Mr. Graham.
Tighty Whitey.
He's a player on the server. I remember him.
Yeah.
Him.
Alright.
Alright, I should have updated all the addresses, I think.
Well, it's running again. So it's counting down, and then it's going to say go fish once. Awesome.
Now really done. Yes, it worked. Oh, this is
The
beautiful.
loot on the bus go round and round. Oh, because I reeled it in, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you make it do that only if the score is... Only if it has a certain score, like to make sure that it currently has a fish?
Well,
Or do we
I
check
don't
after?
think I can do that using the advanced mode, but I
I guess
we can check
I guess when the
branch.
function runs, we just
Yeah, we
check
can
to
just
see whether
check
it has
it.
the score as part of the
branch
function.
off, otherwise abort or kill or whatever.
Exactly. Okay. Nice.
Can I? No, I can't check for the score, unfortunately. But I can check. I can check for the fishing rod that's used. Oh, we have to count in lure and stuff, Sparks.
Sorry.
We have to count in fishing rod and chance. The timer should go down quicker when you're using.
Oh.
How does that work again?
Uh,
Somewhat you remember. So there are multiple enchants, right? There are lure. There's luck of the sea.
Luck of the Sea increases chances of good loot, right? And then
Luck of the sea.
Lure
increases chances
reduces
of good
fishing rate?
I think lure just makes a timer quicker.
End fishing, Mr. Cram, is a new module we're playing with where you can cast a fishing bobber into the void. It'll kind of hang in midair, and then after a certain amount of time, some like fish particles will fly at the bobber, and then if you hook the fish up, then you'll get loot.
Alright, so I think it's this way. Chat, please correct me if I'm wrong. Luck of the sea increases your chances for good loot. So I will handle that, and we'll scrap the idea of different height levels. That will make it awful. I will have to add 3 advancements now for the 4 advancements for the Luck of the Sea levels and no Luck.
Can't you just put it in the loot table? For Luck of...
I don't think so, because it's not actually, like, it's not mining a block, right? So the loot table doesn't know anything. We're just giving the loot table.
Luck of the Sea? I thought it was like fortune and stuff, and looting, where the loot table that we write has different conditions based on the enchants of the item you're holding. Right?
Maybe, but can I do that? Because the player isn't killing the mob that will drop the loot.
I see your problem.
And
right.
we're not in 1.14. We can't just give loot tables.
Right. Okay. I see the issue. Yes, that makes sense.
I don't think I can do that. I will think I'll have to do 4 tables.
Blah 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 blah. Sorry.
All right. And you Sparks, you do the following. For lure increases the speed at which you, well, decreases the time you have to wait till a fish bites.
That's interesting because the delay is stored on the bobber, not the player, but the player is the one holding the enchanted item, so we have to link players to the bobber to apply the enchant. We can do that. I think we just set the player's UUID as a score to the entity, right?
It's horrible.
As it's when it's summoned.
Can we please not do that?
There
must be a different way.
We could also simply set the bobber to have a random number that's the same as the player when it's first discovered to try and get the closest player. But if I use Tiny Atoms as an example, I can tell how quickly he stops whether he's in voice with us or not. If I do this, then he'll probably, if he's holding a Luck of the Sea or something, then I imagine it might catch him instead of me as the closest player.
So the wiki says, lure decreases the wait time until a catch by 5 seconds per level.
Mm-hmm. Hey Mesode. We were thinking about you earlier. I can't remember what it was though.
We were thinking about you earlier.
Probably something we wanted. Oh yeah, probably some question about stats. I don't know. Yeah, if we want to, we're gonna have to link the UUID of the player to the UUID of the armor stand in order to pass on the phishing information from the. We could store the countdown on the player instead, but then we have the problem of putting the fish on the right bobber. And the annoying thing is, if we want to store the link the bobber to the player, we're going to have to do that the moment the bobber spawns, which means that
it would be weird to not make lure work though. How can we do this? I mean, this wouldn't be fail-safe, but we could make it so that we check for the lure level once the fishing rod is first detected in the slow clock, and then check for the lure level of the nearest player, and then give the fishing bobber a tag depending on the lure level. This wouldn't be fail-safe, but unless you're fishing a large group with lots of players close to each other.
Run through that again?
Be an issue. When we first initialize the bobber in the slow clock, we also check for the closest players' lure level.
Yes.
And then tag the bobber. Give the bobber a tag that remembers the lure level.
Yeah, that's almost what I said, but better. Like actually works without having to match your UID.
If you fish in a large group, it will be faulty, but do we care about that?
With mending
Like
enchants, I don't think people are looking for hefty durability reducing tricks.
Yeah, and you can switch fishing rods on the fly whilst the thing is still cast out.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
But not even Minecraft handles that properly.
You can even switch to the offhand.
Yeah, you can have one on the offhand that affects the stuff you get, but you will always reel in the one on the main hand, as far as I know.
Oh, so that's like an exploit right there. I feel like this is what it must feel like to fish off the top of a very tall cliff.
Alright, so I will do 3 advancements here.
Mm-hmm.
And let's do that thing where we check for the lure level when initializing the bobber, right? Because it's more efficient and it's not as much of a pain and will not matter that much, I think.
Okay, I'll have a look at moving the lure from the lure. I am Lure from the planet Omicron Persei 8. Onto
I think it will be different.
Bobber.
I think it will be different to vanilla fishing is that in this fishing mode, the items will spawn at you. And I think that's a good thing, because otherwise they either float above the void or fall down. I guess.
Say that again, sorry, I was typing.
People are fighting. People are defeating an entity.
Oh, really?
Development stream. But alright, let's just leave these guys alone and defeat the entity. Yeah, I was saying that in this mode of fishing, the items that you reel in, they will be summoned at your feet probably, and not at the bobber or somewhere halfway like in Minecraft usual fishing. But like that, they won't fall into the void and they won't float above the void. So I guess that's alright-ish. Is it? I guess it's alright.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It will be alright. Okay, I will do the thing where I have to create three advancements. SFTP is so slow when transferring small files.
Yeah. Yes, state equals 0. Yes, 0. EF data 1. But I think I've moved. The first step was to move the score from the. That was interesting. It looks like I managed to move it from the arm stand to the bobber quite easily.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now we just need to make it so that every bobber, even if it hooked to a foreign armor stand. We can implement that later. That's just
Yeah.
one more.
Are you gonna have to write? You're gonna have to write a separate loot table for each lure level then.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have to do one for every combination of lure and luck of the sea?
No,
oh no,
'cause I don't
lure
care
is just
about
for the
luck of sea.
speed. Lure is just
Yeah.
for the speed of the fish arriving.
Here's an interesting question. How do I test for not an enchantment? Like, I know how I can test for the fishing rod having lure 1 or lure 2 or lure 3, but how do I test for not having lure 3? Like, how do I test for having no lure at all?
Wait, I thought I was doing lure.
Not lure. Ah, damn it, I called it lure. Luck of the sea.
Well, what I was going to do was I was going to set its lure score to 0, then if it has a lure of 1, set it to 1, if it has a lure of 2, set it to 2, etc.
Yeah, but I'm doing it using, I have to do it using, well, I'm doing it using advancements, because they can check for the fishing rod used to cast the thing.
So to check for a lack of lure, I see your problem, yeah.
I guess I can't. I guess I will just have to check for the item data.
Does it... If 2 conditions match, do both of the advancements run? Instead of the first one it comes to running and then it stops, or the last one that it comes to runs?
That's a good question. I'm not the advancement guy. That's special.
That'd be the way to do it. To have like a default one that doesn't check lore at all and hope that if you have, luck of the sea, it will just overwrite. Like it'll only pick one and the last one it finds that was true is the one that's chosen, kind of thing. But I don't know if that works.
Does Mizard say anything? Because he probably knows. Mizard doesn't say anything. Well, I could also just do it by checking for the item they're holding manually.
So if the bobber doesn't have a lure level score, run function gm4 end fishing cast init lure. No whoop for me. Why? Oh, because I haven't created the scoreboard yet.
So how am I gonna do this? Yeah, Wizard, I'm using loot. We will be using loot tables, but we're in 1.13, so we can't use the drop loot command thingy. And the issue I'm running into is I've got advancement triggers set up that will trigger a function, and those will. Oh wait, can I call loot tables from advancements?
I don't know.
Because if I can, this is gonna be a lot easier.
I'm not getting that whoop that I so desperately crave. Unless low level matches. Hmm.
Huh. Let's. I guess I've got to read up on advancement stuff. JSON format, background description, parent criteria, rewards. Loot! A list of loot tables, I can do that.
Nice. Can anyone see why this isn't working?
Oh, great. Well, I don't care about all of this lack of to see stuff then.
Are there any errors on the last reload, Blue?
Let me check for you. I'm reloading for you again. Nope, seems to be fine.
Oh, I know what it is. There's my whoop. I forgot to actually initialize the scoreboard, even though I pasted it into init.
Oh yeah, because you have to start it in game.
Yeah. Right, I get a whoop when I throw it, so I'm just gonna work with that.
This is gonna be interesting now, though. We are probably restricting us to fishing. Yeah. We're gonna restrict us to allowing the player to fish items, right? I take it as yes.
Sorry, I was thinking, yes, what?
We're restricting the players to fishing items, like you can't fish entities, you can only fish items, right?
I don't know. Were we thinking about having the whole what they're called? They don't like people who don't sleep. Phantoms.
The thing is here, I can give a loot table and I can call a function. I can do both at the same time.
Is this something I can look at so the stream can see? Because I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure you can.
Under advancements.
Under advancements and then reelin and fishing rod.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm in there.
For me, you are still a main.
Jumped me?
For me, you are still a main.
Is it because you also have the file open on your end? Where am I now?
Might be, but I just closed it.
Where am I?
How many advancements are there in there for you?
1.
For me, there are 2. Let me...
Oh, I see 2 now. Can you jump to me now?
Wait. There should be 2.
I see 2.
Let me delete one of them.
Okay.
Keep going. Alright, I'm trying to jump to you now.
Okay,
nope, you're still a main for me.
I've just opened reelin and fishing.
Nope, you're stuck in main.
I guess you're gonna have to reconnect then?
Yeah, I'm guessing. Why does Atom sometimes well, why does Teletype sometimes forget about the portal you were last in? Sometimes if you disconnect, it still keeps the portal URL, and sometimes if you disconnect, it doesn't. Yeah, now I'm where you are. So I can do the following. I can do loot, and then call a loot table here.
Mm-hmm.
And I can call a function. This function is ran and this loot table called. But I can't put in logic to only make one of them run.
So both run.
It will always run both.
Right.
So if you wanted to fish a phantom, you would also get some other catch. So you would get a random item from the loot table and the phantom if you get lucky by some function.
Could we simply
put a loot table in the function? No.
No. Could we use the function to choose to either summon an entity at the bobber, or
no, we can't.
We can't like even do something like set a chest at the player with the loot table and destroy the chest?
Oh no, that will push the player. But the thing is, why I want to do it in here is when I call the loot table from in here, I think I can still refer to the fishing rod used.
This loot is just going to drop straight into the player inventory, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so we can't use the item that is dropped by the loot table to spawn something.
No. Well, maybe if we do it on a fast clock, but I'm not sure about that.
I have this sudden feeling that we talked about a fishing module in the past before, where sometimes you'd fish up something dangerous as well as your loot, like a guardian.
That's basically sunken treasure. By the way, I recommend reading stream chat or drawing attention to it right now.
Yeah, I did see something about being a cool way to get a elytra. You can't target the item. You can't target the item, just the command after you grant the advancement. Oh, you can. You can target the item in the command after you grant the advancement.
But the issue I have here is, Miso, that you can have a fishing rod in either the off or the main hand. And if we're not in 1.14, so the only way I can give the player a loot table, unless for this advancement, is to place a chest or kill him up or something. And in that case, I can't check for the item in the player's hand reliably. And if I do it in the advancement, I can just check for the item in the player's hand reliably and check for the enchant, I guess, right? Because the issue here is if I try to check for that item using commands, I have to implement main hand logic. It's just a pain. Yeah, so the advancement is used to detect when a player reels in the fishing rod attached to one of our custom armor stands. So what I want to do now is I want to give the player loot. This would be pretty straightforward if we restricted ourselves to item loot, but apparently we want to do entity loot as well. If we can't do that in a loot table, right? Like, we can't make a loot table run a command, can we? Oh, actually. thought you can summon an item with a target after you've granted it once. If you attack that specific dummy, you kill them. Oh, so that works. So I can just use only the loot table. In the advancement. In advancement, I trigger the loot table, and in there I somewhere put a dummy item. And then on 20 hertz or something, I check for the dummy item? Okay, if you say that works.
On the other hand, it does mean that we don't know which bobber to summon the entity at. Unless we do the whole UUID tying thing again.
Yeah, and the items, they will just summon at the player. Maybe the entity is just a bad idea.
Yeah, or we can just run it separately so that you get a loot item and there's a chance of getting a phantom. Or something.
Getting a phantom as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Someone just above the player if it's going to be a phantom. So like the act of fishing causes phantoms to spawn above you?
Yeah, that's
instead
weird.
of hooking it out of the void?
Here's another issue. I don't think we can check for tool enchantments before 1.14. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Can we just summon special for this? And make him do the dirty work?
Would be nice.
Sparksy. I'm sorry to say this.
My whoop stopped working. I'm sorry to say that.
I'm sorry to say this, but you have to count in the offhand.
No. Am I getting an error right now?
I will check for you, don't worry. You are getting an error. Error at couldn't load function. Cast set rod enchants MC function.
Yeah.
While passing command on line 4, expected end of options at position 124, level column 1s. Bunch of brackets. Unbalanced brackets, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's unbalanced brackets.
Yeah, it's one to... Yeah, just remove one curly bracket. This offhand main hand thing is just a nightmare. Why isn't there a tag used item? Like, why didn't they update selected item to reflect the items actually in use?
How many levels of lure are there? There's 3, right?
There's 3, yeah. Let me double check for you. Yep. 1, 2, 3. So there's technically 4, because there's also 0. Can Wizard or Blue, can you confirm that there's no way of checking the enchantments on the item used within a loot table till 1.14?
Well, it works.
It works?
Yep.
Well, you got farther than I got.
I mean, there's still potential problems just generally in terms of offhand and stuff, but yes, it works.
Can we try to hook onto one sports and try to get that to work?
I kind of want to wrap this up soon because we've been going almost 2 hours.
Alright, if you say so. Let me quickly wait for Mizo to reply here, because I want to something.
Interesting.
Wait, does it? Does it? Why does it take that armor stand into account? Did we forget about a check somewhere?
Go fish is what happens when a fish should be summoned. I think.
The item object does have an enchantment property according to Galamede's guide. Alright, if you say so, then I will trust you. And I will... Oh, I need to learn so much stuff here.
Is this a good time to wrap it up then while we do some research off camera?
Probably. I don't know where the item object is. I'm such a noob with these.
Maybe we need specials expertise.
We need just a bit more specialness. Yep. Alright.
Alright, well thanks for watching everybody. We will see you...
actually, never mind.
We'll see you next week. We're making progress. There's still stuff to do.
Why is this happening?
I don't know. I don't want to think about it right now, to be honest.
Okay, let me...
It can be Future Sparks' problem. And he'll be grateful for what he's got. Surrounded by the ruins of civilization. He'll be glad he still has a first world problem to fix. I don't know what I'm saying.
Alright, so let's wrap this up here. Thanks for watching, everyone, and... Oh, this is colorful. Thanks for sticking around, and I guess we'll see us in the next stream when we try to get this a bit more concrete and try to get an actual fish here.
Yeah.
Someone please remind us of the pufferfish idea.
Yes.
The end pufferfish that makes you float. We can't forget about that, because I like that. And the slow falling, as suggested by Blue Psycho Ranger, that supposedly stops the issues with fall damage.
Mm-hmm. Did you just say Blue Psycho Ranger?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.